Hey, beautiful people. Oh, hold on a minute. I just turned my camera off. How did that happen? Let me just check. Okay, cool. I'm all sorted. And come back and talk to you. Hi. Hey. I know it's weird. It's weird, right? I'm talking to you as if you're right in front of me, yet I'm looking at a camera. It's weird. Anyway, I decided to do Tim Fletcher's program. I've mentioned it on my some of my videos. I've been following his trauma stuff. It's amazing. It's amazing stuff. And with that, I actually decided first to do the 5 coaching sessions before you do the program. So I'm doing that at the moment. I had my first one today, and it was an amazing conversation. There's a fly buzzing around my head. It was very much about shame, and really for me becoming more consciously aware of how much my no value kind of seeps out into my life. So I did a video last week which was probably had about 2,500 views. So if you want to go find it, it's the one that's had the most views on my channel so far. And it was really about that part of me that has no value in this world. The part of me that doesn't earn money because I have no value, that doesn't eat because I have no value, that does not have a partner because I have no value, that has no friends because I have no value, that doesn't live in a nice house because I have no, or a clean house. I shouldn't say nice house because this is a nice house until I moved into it. But we don't live in a clean house because I have no value. I don't have a beautiful garden because I have no value. Like all of this, I don't have a nice car because I have no value. Well, there's no value belief inside me. It is just seeping into so many different aspects of my life, and it's understanding that is what it does. And then the other part, which I found really, really interesting, and the analogy that I used with her was that I feel like I'm sitting in the car. I know exactly where I'm going. My foot's resting against the pedal, but I can't move it. I cannot move my foot. I cannot get the car to go forward. It is just frozen, stuck, or somebody else is holding it back. I don't know. That part I don't know. I think it's frozen. Or someone is holding it back as well. Maybe it's not even one or the other. Maybe it's both. But I really, it's kind of weird because it does very much feel like I have no control over my life. And I also shared with her that I'd shared this analogy with someone before, where I was born, and at the time of my birth, there's a pinball machine, and it was put down in the pinball, and somebody else, wasn't me, pulled the trigger to make the pinball go. Somebody else pulled the trigger, pinball went, and other people have been coming and pressing the buttons to make the ball go. And so my life feels like something happens with someone over here, I bounce off them, and then I bounce off the next person, and I bounce off the next person, and I bounce off the next person, and there's actually no part of me doing something that I want to do because I want to do it. I really feel like I live life in response to the external world, and I have minimized my experience of the external world by my mum and my dad have passed away now, but I don't see any of my other family at all. So I've minimized that trigger. And like I said, I don't have any friends in my actual personal space that I see on a regular basis. So I've minimized that. I'm not in a relationship, so I've minimized that. There are so many interactions that I used to have when I was in my 20s and 30s. I used to go dancing, I used to do other things. I don't do any of that now. So I've minimized all of that. So now it is really just me in my own little island that every now and then engages with people. But really now what I'm bouncing off are the thoughts in my head. Now what I'm bouncing off of the feelings in my body. So I'm still not in control of the pinball. I'm still not moving that little ball. That little ball now is being moved by my thoughts and my feelings, not me. So I still feel like I have no control. That was a big one that came up in the conversation today. And the other one that came up was how I felt about what my sibling did when they stopped talking to me when I was 12, and the impact that that had on me as a 12-year-old who all of a sudden went from being accepted into the family to being rejected, because it was very apparent that as I went through my teenage years, that reaction this person had was my fault, that it was about me. So as a 12-year-old and 13-year-old and 14-year-old, I all of a sudden started to think that, well, maybe I am just wrong for existing. Maybe my pure existence is wrong. Maybe I am bad. And something else that came up was that it did not matter if I did things right or wrong, I was still wrong. And it did not matter if I did things that were good or bad, I was still bad. It didn't matter. It was always on the bad side or the wrong side. And so all of that has left me in a place where I have no idea who I am. I have no idea how to take action in this world. Because I have no value, I don't eat, I don't go anywhere, I don't do anything. And my dogs are barking, sorry. I'm just wondering if someone's here. But I'm sure my daughter will come and get me if there's someone here. It just means that I have no idea who I am, and I have no control over how to figure out who I am. So I've decided to go, and I wanted to try this coaching to see if it would be different, because I've done other coaches, I've tried other programs, I've tried other therapists, I've tried all sorts of different things, somatic therapists, all sorts of things, but none of it actually really worked. None of it actually really helped. None of it actually helped me bridge the gap between the fact that I have no control over my life and I have no idea who I am, to I have complete control over my life and I know exactly who I am. No course that I've ever done and no person that I've ever spoken to has been able to help me bridge that gap, like figure out how do I get from here to here. I know I need to get from here to here. I have tools even that can get me from here to here, but I do not know how to actually get myself to move to here. And that's where I use the analogy of the car with my foot on the accelerator. And I said, I know that I need to put my foot on the accelerator to move. I know that's what I need to do. I know my foot needs to be on the accelerator. But I can't get it to move. It won't move. And that's what I don't understand, is why won't it move? Why won't my foot move? Why won't I do the tools that I have? Why won't I do I just need to put up this better. Why won't I do the meditations? Why won't I do the mantras? Why won't I do the journaling? Why won't I do the universe and its fabulous wisdom gave me a tapping technique that I created that I did used to use a lot to clear a lot of stuff out. But why don't I use that now? And why don't I eat? Why don't I eat? Food is fantastic. Why don't I eat? Why don't I go out and meet new people? Why don't I put myself out there for a relationship? Why don't I clean the car? Why don't I clean the house? Why don't I plant trees and plants and flowers in the garden? Like, why do I not do all of these things that I know will take me from here to here? Massively different life. My garden out the front of so when I stand and wash the dishes, the kitchen window is just grass and weeds. And I was standing there yesterday thinking, I could plant something there and it would be beautiful. I could plant a garden here and it would be beautiful. I have the trees. I already have the trees. They're all sitting in pots. I'm waiting to put them in the ground. Why don't I plant them here? It would be amazing to have a beautiful garden here. Why don't I? I don't know. I want to. I'd like to. I had the thought to, but I'm not doing it. And that's the part I don't get. And so I am still on the fence about Tim's coaching. I'm still sitting on the fence, but I'm going to do the coaching sessions with this coach that I can do now. And I want to see how it goes over the next couple of weeks and see if it helps me. Obviously, not necessarily, it might, I don't know, but not necessarily actually put my foot on the paddle. But if I could just move my foot, if I could move my foot, so then I could put it on the pedal. I guess that's kind of my analogy, or the pinball analogy. If I could even be standing in front of the pinball machine, that would be great. What if I stood in front of it instead of all of these other people that I'm bouncing off? That would be great. How about I stand in front of the pinball machine? So then I can actually press the buttons. I'm not even standing in front of the machine. Go away, fly. I'm not even standing in front of the machine. I'm all the way over in a hammock watching Netflix somewhere. That's what I'm doing right now, avoiding life. Avoiding, distracting, running away from anything but actually living. So yeah, that is where I am right now after this session today. And yeah, it's Wednesday. So I'll try and do another video over the next couple of days to share how I'm going. And I hope you watched the coaching call that I did with Spencer Jones. You can find the link, but just go to my channel, you'll find it. It was amazing. I really feel like the call with him helped me realize that I have a choice. I'm not necessarily able to make the choice yet, but the call with him helped me really, I know in my head I can make the choice. I knew in my head I could make the choice, but what he did was help it. Well, these fly buzzing around me. But what he did was help it actually go down into my physical body and made it very visceral, in that I can choose. I have a choice, which I don't think was anchored in as much as what he did. So that was a beautiful gift that he gave me, and I highly recommend you go and watch that conversation that I had with him. And I have another one coming up this weekend. So it's all moving. The end of this 12 months, I am determined to be a completely different human being to the one that started this year. That is my plan. Thank you for coming on this journey with me. If you want to share anything about what you're going through at the moment, if you resonated with this and you want to tell me, please do. I want to know that we're all going through this journey together. I'm not the only one, I know that. And yeah, reach out, connect, say hi, whatever you want. But thank you for watching.